So let us take the next question. So next question is, why I am identifying with the ego? That you have to tell me why you are identifying with the ego. I don't know. Ego is rising and falling. Okay, why are you identifying with the ego? What is rising and falling? But you know that you are not, you are always unchanging. I know. Okay, how can you confuse what is unchanging with changing? What makes you confused? What is the confusion? Where is the confusion? The confusion is you are identifying with the I thought. I thought is a thought. I thought is an object. So why are you identifying with the I thought? That's the next question. Why do you want to identify with I thought? But you don't identify the apple thought. You don't say I am the apple, but you'll identify the I thought. What makes you identify the I thought? Is it I thought is very special? What is so special about I thought?
That is the ego, no, Guruji.
No, I'm saying don't use change the words. My question is, why are you identifying the I thought? You like the I thought very much?
Yes.
Why? What is so special
because
about it?
I feel that I do everything. Though my identification with the body and mind basically. So I identify with that rather than being the self.
So when you say I thought represents body. I'm saying first later. So she is giving the answer. She says I thought is identifying the body. So I'm doing something. Okay, I feel I am doing something. I'm happy or unhappy. I thought is connected with happiness or unhappiness or body. So basically, all your experiences I thought is associated. Is that what you're saying? If there's no I thought, there's no experience. So because of experience of body or mind or intellect, you're saying I thought.
It's very subjective.
And it feels me, the subject. Correct? It is nearest to me. Okay. So first reason is, in all my experiences, I thought is there. Body experience, mind experience, intellect experience. And it is closest to me. Correct? So this is because now you have not inquired. You have not inquired, really inquired what is happening. Because of lack of inquiry, you are identifying the I thought. Let us do the inquiry now. Okay. Let us take an experience of apple. So is there I thought now? Experience of apple? Wait. I am experiencing apple now. Is I thought there? Yes or no?
Yes, Guruji. I am experiencing.
It is not there. In any experience,
so only when there is.
In any experience, I thought is not there. Only experience is there. I thought comes after the experience. Did you notice that? When the experience, see, basic reason is simple. Mind can have one thought at a time. It cannot have two thoughts. Okay. Experiences, mind is going through experience. It cannot have I thought also. What is experience? Experience, subject and object becoming experience. Subject and object becoming one is called experience. If subject and object don't become one, there's no experience. Correct? So in experience, subject and object become one. Correct? So that is called experience. The experience can be seeing, touching, feeling, tasting, smelling. Now, when that is happening, there's no subject and object. There's only experience. Do you understand? Now, mind comes into picture. It says, this is apple, this is me, this is eating. It splits up the one experience into three. When the mind has switched over from the experience to the mind, the experience has stopped. There's no experience going on now. It's like an interval now, commercial interval. So it has gone and it's fetched the apple, me, and experience. Three words from memory. So the I thought has come from memory. I thought has not come from the experience. So now what is I thought in the memory? Oh, this is me. See, I'm a woman. I'm mother of so and so. I am so. I have been eating apple last 6 years. Doctor has told me apple a day keeps a doctor away. But every day I'm going to doctor. So all history is brought out with I thought. Was there I thought during experience? I thought was never there in the experience. You observe it carefully.
It will be very fraction of a second, no, Guruji. That experience.
First you understand what I'm trying to say. Then you explain on yourself and find out. Correct. Subject and object have to come for the experience to happen. So first is an apple. I'm seeing it. Eyes and apple have come together. Seeing is there. Then the naming is there. This is apple. Then apple goes into mouth. So already 3-4 steps have happened. In each step, eye is not there. Eyes have word record has to be fetched. I'm saying subject and object just names. Before the experience, I saw an apple, right? I saw an apple. Where is apple? I saw seeing happened. Then from memory I recorded, brought it out, record called apple. I like apple. The seeing is gone. Seeing experience over. The naming happened. Then subject has come. The object has come. I'm saying, is there apple? That question will address separately. Is there something called apple? Is there something called object? Subject is there? We'll address it separately. First, seeing happened. In seeing, there is no seer. In seeing, there is no subject object. In seeing only is there. Then naming, subject, object, and seeing comes in picture. But the experience is broken. That's where what you say, any experience has 2 parts. A nameless experience and naming. Naming comes from memory. Nameless experience happens in any experience. Okay. In the nameless experience, there's no subject at all. It's only experience is there in consciousness. There is an experience rising and falling in consciousness. That why there's no object, you'll find out later. First, understand with this to context. The context, if you change, the answer will become very elaborate. In consciousness, so many experiences rise and fall. Okay. All experiences which are rising and falling are mithya because they are temporary. In any experience, knowing is always there. Can there be experience of seeing without knowing? Can there be experience of touching without knowing? Knowing is always a background experience, like a screen. Now, who are you? Are you the experience or the knowing of the experience?
Knower.
Knower, not knower, knowing. Knower also is a subject. Knowing is the sakshi. So now, when did the sakshi becomes I thought? You tell me. when did I thought?
When mind
experience.
When mind comes into picture, it becomes I thought. No,
don't change the context. As you said, I thought is there in all experience. You said, I said I thought is not there in any experience. I told you. False understanding.
Correct, Guruji.
I thought comes after the experience. Okay. Now, I was never there in experience. I thought is only claiming the experience. He was not there in the experience.
After it gets over, it claims that this happened.
It was not there. And it claims that I experienced it. Okay, it is like a typical old movie style. The hero will thrash all the villains, he'll tie them up, and the policeman will come and take a photograph. We caught the thieves. I thought is coming up after the experience is over and says, I only experienced it. Please understand, I thought is not experience. I thought is a recorder of experience. I thought is a claimer of experience. I thought itself is not an experiencer. Who is the experiencer now? Knowing is the experiencing. Without knowing, is the experiencing possible? Can you have any experience without knowing? Knowing is the real experiencing. Every other experience is mithya, appears and disappears. How can you confuse yourself with somebody who was not there in the experience and say, I am that I thought? You tell me. How can you confuse the ego? I mean, is it you are confusing the ego because you are not seeing the process of experience properly? Ego was never there in experience. Ego is only claimer. How can you identify with the claimer? You are the reality. I know is always there. Knowing principle is always there. How can you confuse reality with unreality? Tell me. You started your question. I am mixing up. I am the ego. How can you be the ego? Tell me. So what I have done, I have questioned your assumptions. That's all. I am not giving the answer to you. Now, I don't say, believe me, you observe your own experience process. It appears after your experience. I thought it's appearing immediately after experience. I thought it will come and say, I did it. So it is immediately come.
Even now, when listening also, no, Guruji, that listening is after that I have listened will rise.
So the claimer is not there when the experiencing is happening.
Experiencing.
So now, when did this claimer come in your life? Please understand that. When you are born as a child, you don't have a self-identity. You don't know it's apple. You don't know it's mango. Then the pure experiencing is there. No naming is there. Then there's no ego. In case of Gnani, the pure experiencing is there. There's no ego. I mean, ego is there. He is not identifying with that. That's a different thing. In between, what happened? Between the child and a Gnani, what happened to you? Somebody came and gave a name to you. So and so, Putta, Mudda, it gives some name to you. And you start to think you are the name. And you create self-identity. The self-identity becomes the basis for ego. Self-identity is given to you. But knowing is not given to you. Knowing is your nature. You forgot your nature and started following something which is given to you by the society. And apple name is given. Before apple naming, the child doesn't know it's apple. It doesn't know it's red color. It's just a pure experience. So, ego rises and falls. How are you able to identify with the rising and falling ego? You tell me. What makes you identify? I didn't tell you how to identify. I'm telling you, the identification is false. There's no identification possible. Can real and unreal be identified? Can water and the oil can mix? False and real, how it can be identified? Confused, you tell me. Now you have to tell me, give the answer. How did you confuse?
Unlearning things, Guruji. That's why it is confusing.
What are you unlearning?
Identification, identity.
Who told you? Who told you about I thought?
You, Guruji.
Huh?
Self I, not the small I, ego I.
So did I answer your question?
Yes, Guruji. So while experiencing, we will not be associating ourselves with the ego I.
I don't even understand what is this ourselves business. Well, how many selves you have?
Myself with.
How many myself you have?
I am only one.
Myself means this is my mobile, my apple. So myself is not, my means something which I have. Understand?
It's not a possession. It's there.
Myself is not a possession. Myself, world itself is wrong.
Hmm. Nane adu.
I am the self. When even the moment you start using myself word, already programming is started in the brain.
Hmm.
That is separate from you. Then you start looking self-relation, self-searching for self.
Right.
How can you use the word myself? Like my apple, my kitchen, my car. Can you call that myself as like that? Huh? My God. The moment you say my God, God is separate from you. The moment you say myself, self is separate from you. Then you'll say, how do I realize the self? You'll ask. See, our words create a reality in our mind. Look at your word. The moment you say myself, you will see, I want self-relation. Because self is separate from you. Any questions? The moment you say ourselves, already you have created multiple selves.